Hey, good morning everybody. I'm out here on the beautiful Snake River here in Southern Idaho. Going to be doing a trout catch and cook. Once I catch the fish, I'm going to put it on my smoker at the house with a honey brown sugar glaze. I think it'll be pretty good. I'm excited to try that. But first, I have to get to the other side of this river. So I've got my kayak. I've got to take it all the way down this long boat ramp. But then once I get across, we'll start the fishing. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I will meet you on the other side of the river. All right, coasting on in. This is a good spot, I think, to take out. It's nice and flat, and we can set stuff up right here. All right, I got across safely and right below the dam, so it's a really neat spot to be. There's a spot over here. It's kind of an inlet with a bay, and then there's a waterfall that kind of just pours right into there. That's a good spot for fishing. And then closer to the dam, there are a couple of pools where the water just kind of flows down the rocks. Those are the pools that I'm going to be fishing today. And then just a little over to the side of the dam, there's a couple more pools, and then I might fish those. And then of course above the dam you have the upper part of the Snake River. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, fishing probably those two pools mainly. And let me get my rod hooked up. I'll show you what I've got on it, and then we'll drop some lines. All right, so here's what I've got. I've got a couple of split shots, probably about 14 inches up. And then I just have a small bait holder hook with a night crawler. That's all I'm using. I'm just gonna toss it right in those pools, let it sit there, start reeling in a little bit, and then hopefully the bite's on. I'm using 6-pound test line on here with a medium light rod. So let's jump in there, see if we can catch some trout. All right, first cast going in, right below that waterfall. Oh, had a bite. All right, oh, look at that. Look at that, stole my bait. All right, going back in that same spot. Here we go. All right, after that initial first bite, not much has been happening, so I'm gonna move down to the lower pool and fish down here. Hopefully we get something. If not, then I'll move a little bit downriver to that little bay with the waterfall, and we'll see if there's anything there. So let me give this a shot. Hopefully there's some fish to be caught. All right, well, I fished both of those pools for quite a while. After that initial bite, just nothing else is biting. So I came to a different spot. This is that little bay area with the waterfall. So what I'm gonna do is throw out a dead stick. I'm gonna tie a bobber on, probably about a 4-foot leader below it with just a night crawler. Let that thing just kind of dangle around in the current there, and we'll see if we catch some that way. And if not, then I might make my way back up to those pools a little later to see if the fishing has heated up a little bit. So that's what I'll do for now. Hopefully we catch some fish. All right, so I've got the worm there, and then the bobber, probably about 4 feet. So I'll toss that thing in, and hopefully the fish are out there. All right, just kind of toss that right about there. And let the current do the work. Guys, my bobber disappeared, so let's see if we have a fish on. Feel the bite. Oh yeah, that's a fish right there. Oh, look at that. I gotta get down low. Look at that. Bring him in. Yes. Oh. All right, guys. I got that guy in. He's a decent little rainbow trout. So I will put him on the stringer. And I caught him just using that bobber. Maybe 5 minutes on there, and it hit. So excellent. I've got dinner tonight, and so let me throw him up on the stringer. Easy. Let me throw this guy on the stringer, and then I'll put my line back out. All right, guys, before I put this thing on the stringer, I want to get a measure on it, see how long this guy is. I'm thinking probably close to 13 inches. So let's go ahead and measure him up. Tip right there. Right, okay. Right around 14.5 inches. So that's a good sized fish. All right, so I put the fish on the stringer. I got to thinking though, I'm gonna put the fish on the smoker tonight with the glaze, but I was wondering, if you were in a survival situation, would you or could you consider eating fish eyeballs and maybe the tongue? I'm curious, because if you were surviving, you would want to eat every last edible piece of that fish that you could. So I think tonight, after I smoke the fish, I'm going to try eating the tongue and the eyeballs. We'll see how that goes. I'm just curious to see if it is something that you could do. So I might throw that into the mix as well. So for now, I'm gonna go out and throw my line back in. All right, I'm baited back up, and I'm just gonna go ahead and toss this thing out. It was biting a little ways out there, so that's where I'm gonna cast this time. See if that gets us another fish. Right about like that. Then I gave it just a little bit of line to let it move around. Guys, a fish just pulled my line down. There we go. Whoa, let me get down here again. Yeah, that fish yanked my line, or my rod, right out of the holding place. That's a good looking fish right there. Look at that one. Get him right up here. All right. All right, second one of the day. I'm gonna go ahead and get him back in the water real quick because I'm only gonna keep one, but not a bad, whoa there buddy, not a bad catch. So let me get him in because he's freaking out now. Ugh. All right, I moved a little bit lower, closer to the water so that it's easier on the fish so that they're not out of the water so long when I pull them out. So far the bobber and the worm is working, so I'm just gonna keep doing that, and we'll see. It might be pretty heavy down here. Let me give it a try. We'll see what happens. We'll just cast this out, probably, I don't know, 20 yards. All right, so fishing has slowed down quite a bit. It's been about 45 minutes, haven't caught anything. So I'm gonna throw this out there. It's a little Mepps lure. And the reason I'm throwing that out there is, one, the sun is out, so I'm hoping that maybe this will reflect well in the water. But when I was bringing my bobber and worm in, I actually had a fish chase after the worm. So they seem pretty active. So I'm gonna toss this out there for maybe 10 minutes or so. If we don't get anything, then we'll probably call it a day, head back to the house and start preparing that fish. So let's see if this does the trick. Got one. There we go. Oh, right there in front of me. Nice. Look at that. Boom. Oh yeah. All right. All right, guys. Check that out. On that Mepps. Right in front of me too. So I'm gonna get him back in the water and we'll keep fishing a little bit. Not too bad. Swim off, buddy. There he goes. Slowly but surely. All right, guys. After just catching that one on the Mepps there, I'm gonna start heading back. I promised my wife I'd be back by 1:30 in the afternoon, so it's getting pretty close. Also, what I might do, just for good measure, is I might go back up to that pool real quick, maybe put out 5, maybe 100 casts, and see if we can't get maybe one more fish on camera. If not, then we'll just head back to the house to get this cook started. All right, folks. No fish, not even up in that hole, so it is officially time to head back so that we can cook up this trout. I won't forget about the eyeballs and the tongue. Like I said, I'm going to smoke this thing on my smoker with a honey brown sugar glaze. I think that'll be pretty good. So let me get everything packed up. I got to get back across the river and then I'll meet you back at my place. All right guys, I'm back at the house, and what I've got going here is the smoker is prepping right now. I've got, I believe the pellets in there are apple, and then this is my Camp Chef. It's the DLX, so it's got the LED screen. But anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw the trout on here. I'm gonna take you guys inside to show you how I'm preparing the trout, and then we'll actually throw it on here. So I've got this thing set to heat up to 175, and then I've got it on high smoke, so that should do the trick. So let's go inside and I'll show you how I'm gonna prep up this fish. All right, so I've got the fish gutted and prepared. If you take a look at it right here, I've actually got it scored so that I can get the flavor into the meat. And then over here, I plucked out the eyeball, and then this right here is the fish tongue. So I'll be eating that later today as well. So I'm gonna come over here to my bowl, and I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna make this honey brown sugar glaze. So I'm just gonna put some water in here. Not a specific amount, but just enough that looks normal. All right, so I'm gonna put the brown sugar in here, about like this. And then if you look at the consistency in here, it's kind of watery like this. And then I'm just going to take, this right here is raw clover honey, and I'm just going to put some in like this, and that should thicken up the brine just like that. So if you take a look inside there, looks pretty much just like that. I could add a little more brown sugar if I wanted to, just to get it a little bit thicker. That way when we rub it on there, it sort of rubs on like a paste. Oops. And that honey is gonna help with the glaze to adhere a little bit better as well. So, all right, so I have the smoker pretty much ready to go. I'm just gonna take this little spreading device, and I'm just going to start with the outside first, like that. We'll get all the way down, and then I'll get down over here and kind of in those little cuts, and then I will take some of that and we'll go along the inside as well. And then what I'll probably do is take just a handful of some of this brown sugar, and we'll just sort of spread it inside like so. Get it nice and rubbed in there. And then we can take a little bit extra and we can rub some down on the fish into those cuts, and then that should do it. And then we can put this thing out on the grill. I don't know how long it's gonna take, so I'll check it periodically. But we'll check the temperature probably around an hour and see where it's at. So that looks good. So let's take this out to the grill. All right, so the grill is looking, or the smoker is looking good. So we'll just take this thing and then we'll set it right down just like that. And then we'll, like I said, we'll just leave that for probably an hour, and then we'll come back and check on it after that. All right, so I got a pan here with some boiling water. So we're gonna take the eyeball here and we're gonna boil it. Just toss that right in there. And the tongue, this is the trout tongue. We'll try that too. Ooh, it feels bony.
All right. I'll leave those in there for probably, I don't know, 5 minutes, maybe longer. And then we'll see if it's edible. All right, these have been in here for just a little over 5 minutes, so I'm gonna take the tongue out first. Yeah. And the eyeball. And I'll go outside and eat these real quick. All right. Here's what I'm eating. This one right here is the tongue, and then that is the eyeball right there. So I'm gonna start with the tongue first, and we'll see. Oh, it does not look like it's gonna taste good, but I think the best way to do it is to just eat it without thinking about it. Ugh. Oh, it tastes like just a warm, really warm booger. Ugh. All right, time for the eyeball here. Oh my gosh, look at that. All right, here we go. I don't know if I can swallow it. Yeah, the eyeball wasn't any better. They both taste like just warm, almost kind of salty booger, and so probably not a consideration if you were surviving. I just don't. Well, I mean, for one, it's not very. There's not a whole lot of substance to it. And two, it's just so gross. It might just make you vomit everything out of your stomach. So, not a consideration for me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and check the fish. It's probably been, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. I just want to see how it's looking so far. So far, so good. That's what it looks like. I am going to take just a little more of this right here and rub it on the fish, just like so. And then I'm going to work some of the inside as well. You can see how good that's looking. All right. And then that probably still has a few more hours based on the way it's looking now. So we'll give that a few hours, and then I will do a taste test. That's going to taste good. I know that for sure. All right. Looking good so far. Go. Starting to look cooked too. What I'll do is I'll put a little more glaze on it too. Make sure we get some on the inside and back out there. So far so good. Maybe another hour, I predict. So we'll check on it here in about an hour. All right, folks, I think the fish should be done. Look at that. So, grab onto it. All right, I'm gonna have to do this off camera. Hang on. All right, this is the final product. I'm just gonna peel back some of the skin and try this out real quick. It looks very well done, so yeah, that's really good. It kind of tastes like honey ham that you might have on like Christmas. Very similar to that. Lots of flavor in there. That's really good. Probably a 8 out of 10. All right, my wife Elizabeth wants to try it as well. We got popcorn over here. How is that?
It's delicious.
So guys, what you can do is you smoke your fish like this, chill it in the refrigerator, and let me get away from that. Chill it in the refrigerator, and then take like some Ritz crackers or some wheat thins and spread cream cheese on it, and then just throw a little bit of that smoked trout on top, and then just eat it. It's amazing. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me on this short adventure. There's more to come, so stay tuned.